Hello. This is the 177th edition of Catch of the Day, available on the Branch Talk YouTube channel. Today we're going to continue reading from Doug Mitchell's book, The Four Carpenters, the Ensign, the Time of Jacob's Trouble, and the First Deliverance. Starting at the top of page 15, it reads, "In view of the fact that Jerusalem is to be protected by a wall of fire, Zechariah 2:5, while the house of Jacob reigns there, it is definite that the battle here described must be fought before the house of Judah is established. In that battle, the nations will defeat the rulers of the promised land. Then it is that the house of Judah commences to be set up. As the warring nations besiege the city and rifle the houses, also ravage the women, they are by no means righteous nations. But since not all the inhabitants go into captivity, and since all are not cut off from the city, it must be that the wicked are taken away, and the righteous left in to join the house of Judah." 1 TG 19:3-4. In 1948, at the beginning or at the very time the unbelieving Jews were taking control of Israel as their homeland, there was a war between them and some Arab nations in which the city of Jerusalem was divided. Even though the United Nations, all nations, were active at that time in the resolution of the conflict, the vast majority of the nations represented therein were not actually gathered against Jerusalem to battle, as it stated in Zechariah 14:2. Will be the case in when the prophecy meets its perfect fulfillment. Warfare in 1948 split Jerusalem between Jerusalem and Jordan. National Geographic, December 1968. Britain had announced it would terminate its mandate of Palestine on May 16, 1948. On Friday, May 14, before the distinguished gathering at Tel Aviv, David Ben-Gurion, head of the provisional government, basing himself on the historic rights of the Jewish people and the authority of the United Nations decision, called the State of Israel into being. The great news was marred by the invasion of Israel's territory by the Arab nations. Israel was to be reborn in battle, even while it craved a needed peace. 5 regular armies had been poised for weeks on the borders of Palestine, waiting for the British mandate to expire. The invasion began from every direction except the sea during the night between the 14th and 15th of May. Most spectacular was the defense within and around the old city Jerusalem. The United Nations now belatedly attempted to end the fighting. It did in arranging a 4-week truce beginning June 11th. At its expiration, July 9, the Arabs, still confident, resumed fighting. The Jews, however, were now better equipped, their army better coordinated. They scored victory after victory. The Muslim nations more readily agreed to a second truce on July 18. There had long been sentiment within the United Nations, especially under the influence of the Catholic Church, to internationalize Jerusalem as a whole. Thereupon, the Israel government moved its offices and the Knesset, the parliament, to the Jewish part of the city and declared it the capital of the state. Jordan, for its part, annexed all of non-Jewish Palestine. A history of the Jews, Solomon Grazel, pages 803 to 806. As we've seen previously, Brother Hart said that following the division of Jerusalem spoken of in Zechariah 14:2, that it must be that the wicked are taken away, and the righteous left in to join the house of Judah. Yet that is not the end result of what occurred in 1948. because many of those who remain there and who have come there since that time are not righteous. Additionally, according to Zechariah 14:3, after all nations gather against Jerusalem to battle, and the city divided, and the following is to happen. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. Zechariah 14:3. Though the state of Israel has had certain victories over a few nations that have attempted to do away with her, such as the 1967 Six-Day War, it cannot be truly said that the Lord has gone forth to fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. That is, those nations who the Lord is to go forth and fight against, that are referred to in Zechariah's prophecy, are all nations who are to come to battle against Jerusalem, and such has not yet been the case for all nations. Have not, or have yet to gather against her. Take care.